everyone, it's technology expert Burton Kelso here with another tech tip to help you get the most out of the technology in your life. Today we're talking about cloud backup systems or how to back up your cloud data, which to some of you doesn't really make any sense because it's in the cloud, it means it's backed up, right? Well, not necessarily. It depends on what cloud service you're using. We're going to get into that. So, you think that the cloud is the best option, and it is because it basically allows you to have access to your files anywhere in the world. Doesn't matter if you're a desktop computer user, laptop, smartphone, or tablet, having your information stored in the cloud means that you can be anywhere in the world and access your precious documents, photos, even music, if you can believe that. But with cloud storage comes some dangers because cyber criminals realize that with cloud accounts, there are multiple things that can happen or that they can cause to happen if they get access to your cloud data. One of those threats is ransomware. And if you're not familiar with ransomware, it's basically, I shouldn't say basic, it's a virus or a cyber attack that can go in and lock up all your files. And the bad thing about ransomware is not only will it lock up the files or encrypt the files on your local devices, such as your desktop and laptop computers, whether it be a Windows or Mac, it can also go through and infect your cloud files because one of the processes and one of the good things about having cloud storage is the simple fact that your cloud storage is automatically synchronizing with your devices, meaning your laptops, your smartphones, and your tablet. So it causes a big issue. And if your files are synchronized with the ransomware files that have been infected on your desktop, laptop, or your other devices, then that means that you may not get your information back. Now, I know some cloud storage services do offer a form of backup, meaning that if your files are damaged in a ransomware attack, then your good files will go in a recycle bin. But the important thing with backup is redundancy, and it's important that you have an option for you to restore those files if the backups are recovered. So, in essence, you need to make sure that you've got backups of the backups because these things kind of happen, and I've got all sorts of horror stories to share with you as far as backing up is concerned. Let's talk case number one, or let's talk about some of the different options out there. So just so that you understand, these are cloud storage services, which means the sole purpose of these cloud services such as iCloud, Dropbox, OneDrive, and Google Drive, and Dropbox, I already said Dropbox, didn't I? Box is what I was looking for, is to allow you to store your stuff up in the cloud so that you can access it anywhere in the world. Now that's different than, say, cloud backup services like Carbonite, NordLocker, Dropbox Business, Backblaze, not Blackblaze, but Backblaze, and iDrive. Try saying Backblaze fast multiple times. That's a mouthful. But anyway, the difference between your cloud storage services, which aims to store your files, and cloud backup services such as Carbonite and Backblaze and the others I mentioned, is the fact that you get redundancy with your cloud backup services, meaning that for a monthly fee, usually anywhere from 50 to $100 a year, you get unlimited backup of your files with a cloud backup service. That means when something happened, you've got 30 days worth of backup to refer to. So let's say you had a ransomware attack and then 15 days later you remember, oh my goodness, there's a file I didn't discover or recover would be the proper word. Then you can go back in those backups with your cloud backup services and retrieve it. With cloud storage, you only get one set of backups. So if that backup is ruined by ransomware, then you're in a world of hurt. Now, a good story that I can tell that recently happened to one of our customers at Integral, which actually led me to creating this post, video, whatever, is we had a customer who obviously became a victim of credential stuffing, and some criminals got access of their OneDrive account. Now, a lot of small businesses will utilize OneDrive because it eliminates the purpose of having a server. Now, obviously, a server is a computer that's on site or off site that allows you to store files and to share files with your company. Many small businesses have moved to services like OneDrive or Dropbox because, number one, it eliminates the expense of a server. Number two, in a lot of instances, low cost and low maintenance as far as storing these files. But the problem with cloud storage services like this is anyone can access it if they get a hold of your password. And so the problem with many individuals and small businesses is they don't do a good job of keeping up with their passwords, meaning that they don't change them on a regular basis. So company or the individual becomes a victim of a data breach, password, credentials, and user login leaks onto the dark web, meaning that cyber criminals anywhere in the world can access those files and destroy them. And that's what happened in the case of our customer. Someone got onto their OneDrive account and started deleting files out of the OneDrive account. Now, keep in mind, as I said earlier, a lot of these cloud storage services do have a recycle bin where you can go in and retrieve the information. Problem is, criminals can get access to that recycle bin as well and delete your files. So that's why it's important for you to make sure that you are doing your own backups of your cloud storage services to ensure that if something like a ransomware attack occurs and locks up all your files, or if criminals get access to that cloud data, you can restore from your own backup rather than relying on the cloud service to restore your data. Because a lot of instances they can, but in many instances they can't get your data back. Now, how can you back up that information? Well, it's simple in a ways. So the first way to do it is using an external hard drive. And it's almost like saying, boy, let's pull out that old raggedy piece of technology and use it, Burton, to back up our stuff. Now, the problem with external hard drives is they're pretty volatile. So let's say that that's your only form of backup. Then if you drop that external hard drive, you've lost a form of backup. So in many instances, it's not a bad idea to utilize an external or multiple external hard drives to make sure that when you're backing up your cloud accounts, you've always got multiple copies of that. But that can not necessarily get costly because external hard drives are pretty inexpensive, but it can become a hassle because every time you want to do a backup, you've got to plug that external hard drive in. Now, if you have a desktop computer, it's not a bad idea because the external hard drive is going to stay plugged in all the time. But if you're a road warrior and you use a laptop to go on the road and do stuff, the last thing you want to do is when you sit down at your local Starbucks, McDonald's, or wherever you're using that free Wi-Fi, hopefully with a VPN, the last thing you want to do is pull out that external hard drive. So it can be a hassle. So for my desktop users, there are several options that you can do with your external hard drive. And let's see if we can take a look and see how that is going to work. It's going to be a challenge because there's all sorts of backup software out there. So with an external hard drive, once you plug it into File Manager or File Explorer on your Windows or File Explorer on your Mac, you'll see the external hard drive listed either on your desktop, on your Mac, or if you're a Windows user like this is, then you'll see it listed in your File Manager. Now, there's one other step that we need to do before we go and do this. Oh my gosh. Let me see, get back to me. Well, the first thing you need to do is when you're using cloud storage services, you're probably tempted just to go to the source. So for example, if you're using Google Drive, which is one of the cloud storage services I forgot to mention, you're probably just going to go to google.drive.com or drive.google.com to look at your information that's being stored. Now, that's from a web browser. And if you're doing that with Dropbox, OneDrive, Google Drive, iCloud drive from your web browser, there's no way to back up your information. So what you need to do to be able to physically access that stuff or an external hard drive can back up that information is to actually download the software onto your computer. I'm not going to do this for every service because we'd be here all day. But as you can see, there are several cloud services that I have listed. So there's Amazon Drive, which has nothing in it. There's Dropbox, and there is Google Drive somewhere. I'm not going to look for it. But anyway, when you download the desktop software for Windows or Mac for your cloud storage service, it actually creates an icon on the file manager or finder on your Mac so that you can physically manipulate it as if it were a drive physically hooked up to your computer. If you don't download the software, then you will not be able to back up your information to an external hard drive or to a cloud backup service like I'm about to show you. So back to the external hard drive situation. Now, there's two ways that we can do it. Now let's say that I had information in Dropbox and I wanted to move, like this gets started with Dropbox paper. I can click on this file in my Dropbox folder and then I can drag it down to my Seagate folder and it will actually make a copy or paste that information into my Seagate. Horrible attempt, but you get what I'm trying to do. Now, both Windows and Macintosh computers do have backup software. Windows has file history, and Macintosh has Time Machine. Now, the purpose of both of these softwares is to allow you to perform automatic backups of any drives that are on your computer. Now, Time Machine works a lot better than Windows File History, but once you download the software to your cloud storage service, like the software for Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive, iCloud Drive, I don't know why I paused there. I was trying to think of them. There's a lot of them to deal with. Then you will be able to manipulate it like you would a physical drive on your computer. Now, the other easier option than using an old raggedy external hard drive would be to use one of the cloud backup services that I mentioned. Now, for intents and purposes of this demo, the one that I'm going to choose is Carbonite. I love Carbonite. Pretty inexpensive and unlimited backup. And by no means is this an ad for Carbonite. Just trying to show you how this thing works. Now, switching back to our desktop, you can take a look at Carbonite and see what the heck is going on. Now, as you can see, Carbonite is currently backing up my computer. Now, what you can do with Carbonite is that you can either allow it to back up your stuff, or you can actually go through and select what items to back up. So let's see if this is going to actually work, but it should. There we go. All right, let's get back to our screen here. So under normal circumstances, Carbonite is pretty intuitive as far as what it wants to back up. And that's the same with most cloud services. Don't think that I'm just trying to push Carbonite on you. But if you go to OneDrive, which we can go here and right click on OneDrive, as you can see, there's a Carbonite option enabled under OneDrive. And so I have the option of seeing that Carbonite is backing up this file, but I could also exclude it and tell it not to back up this drive. Let's see if this is going to work with, well, we know it's not going to work with the external hard drive because I don't have the version of Carbonite that does that. But you could, and this is just a side tip, pay more for Carbonite and it will back up your external hard drives. So those of you that are running out of space and you're storing information on your external hard drive, consider using something else to back up your stuff. Now, depending on the cloud service, it may not allow you to back up your information. So for example, if I go back into Carbonite or into File Manager, look at my Carbonite drive. If I right click and go to Carbonite, oh, look at that. I made a liar of myself. There's Amazon Drive and it's actually backing up. And you can tell if you look closely on the Amazon Drive icon, there's a green dot on it letting me know that it's backed up the information. Now, same thing with Dropbox as far as it backing up. Most cloud services like Carbonite will give you an indicator that the drive itself is actually being backed up. Now, you're probably asking, why are we backing this up with Carbonite? It's just a cloud service, just like OneDrive or Dropbox or Google Drive. And no, it's not. Again, cloud services like Carbonite, Backblaze, and other services offer redundancy. So, again, if you're backing up with one of these services, you get 30 days worth of backing up, meaning that over a 30-day period that's extended for the life of however long you pay the subscription, you can always go back 30 days and restore that information to get files that you've lost. Again, 30 days worth of backup as opposed to your standard cloud storage services that only give you maybe one or two instances of backup. So your purpose with your cloud services is yes, you want to be able to access those files from anywhere in the world, but at the other time, you want to ensure that you have your own backups of your cloud storage, so that in the instance that a cyber criminal gets into your drive or your cloud drive, then you can always restore that stuff. Now, you're probably asking, why can't a criminal get into my cloud backup drive? Well, it's the same as far as your cloud storage drive. Got to make sure that you're using strong, secure passwords for any cloud service that you're using. Doesn't matter if it's cloud storage or cloud backup. Because let's say that you're using NordLocker or Dropbox Business or Backblaze. If criminals get into your account, your backup account, then yes, they can delete the data out of that as well. So strong passwords are the key. But again, always prepare for mishaps. So it's always good to have a backup of your cloud drive services, just like you would a backup of the internal hard drive of your computer, laptop, desktop, or even your smartphone, because accidents do happen. So with that said, if you've got comments or questions, and I know I covered a lot as far as this cloud backup, cloud storage, whatever, leave them in the comment section below. Would love to hear from you to find out how I can help you make sure that your data is backed up and secure. And always, if you loved or liked this video or want to tell me to go away, be sure to comment, like, or subscribe there wherever you're watching or listening to this, because guys, this is going everywhere. I love it. So my goal with technology is to open you up to a whole new world of ideas and experiences. I love technology. I've read all the manuals, and I'm serious about making technology fun, safe, and easy to use for everyone. So take care of yourself and do many things to make you smile. And thanks for watching.